Yep.
Hey, they calling you the free thinker, man. John the free thinker and Democrat Chris.
Democrat. Just fact he got Democrat in his name, huh?
Yeah, he true blue, man. He true blue. So
Okay.
okay. So I don't know if y'all have heard each other speak, but y'all have very differing opinions when it comes to what's going on in politics today. Um, let's start with the DEI.
Okay.
I want John, the free thinker, to start it off. You were saying some things about DEI. Let's go back into that. You were
Let's
saying
come
like
on.
about the most qualified versus by race.
Absolutely. So my whole point, and Chris, so I love to hear your opinion on it too, bro. So my thing about it is how can the world or the media label Trump as racist, or I guess the social media police? How can they proclaim that Trump is racist based off the fact that he's getting rid of DEI because in theory he wants the best qualified to get hired? Why is the black people in the uproar about that?
Okay, well, let's be clear. Uh, we're not saying he's racist solely based on that. He has done several racist things throughout the inception of him and his father. You remember the Central Park Five case. You remember the racial discrimination suit that the actual DOJ had to sue him and his father about because he wouldn't rent to black people. His
Mhm.
birtherism movement with Obama, where he said Obama wasn't an American citizen, shouldn't run. The Muslim ban, the Charlottesville remarks, attacks on black women explicitly. So no, that's not the sole basis of why we call him racist. We call him racist because I mean more than likely he's a racist, and it's not always us calling him racist. It's actually the racists that call him racist because they love him. You can't always ask, well, why do y'all call him racist? Why do racist people love him? Why do members of the KKK endorse him? Why do white terrorist groups like the Proud Boys and the Oath Keepers endorse him? So you have to ask those questions. Why do racists actually like him and call him racist? Aside for the DEI, I mean, DEI practices, when you hear them, the majority of white people don't just associate them with the full spectrum. They often associate them with black people. It went from, what was it, with the schooling, uh, I can't think of the name, but it was basically education of black learning. They're trying to rewrite history as it relates to black people, and they moved it from that to this. And it's always a word. It goes from woke, which was a black predominantly word that they made negative. Then it went to critical race theory, CRT. Then it was that, and it's just like every word that they're replacing with the N word. And now it's DEI. And DEI has actually been a staple for the black community as well as a lot of minority groups. And so I think that's why people associate him with racism as it relates because it's something that positively affected us through federal grants and many other initiatives.
Okay, so that's a good decent answer. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of those things could be true, and I think
They're true.
majority is true for the most part. So my thing about naming those things, but do you also know, if I may present to you, Mr. Chris, do you also know in Trump's first term, right? He gathered all the HBCU presidents to come to the White House, and he funded them during his term. You do know under Trump's term, black businesses flourish more than anything. And so that's why I'm saying it. Just like, so when people tends to bring up Trump in these particular racist type things, Trump has been doing a lot for the black community since the 80s. Trump has been associated with some of our black heroes in the 80s. Trump has been associated with the NAACP. And no, I'm not trying to sit here and make it seem like Trump is this perfect guy. I'm not saying that. But yet at the same time, I do feel like us as a race, we will run and try to find any little thing. But if we actually do our research with Donald Trump has been doing a lot for the black people. Biden didn't fund the HBCUs under his term. Trump did that. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying?
So let's stop misinformation. I don't want to interrupt you, but I don't want to hear
No,
too much.
it ain't no
I
misinformation.
don't want to hear
It
too
ain't,
much.
it ain't no misinformation, Christian. The research is free, my man. Research
Right.
is free.
So finish.
Trump
So
has
and
fun.
I'm gonna let you
Trump,
finish, and then I'll respond.
yeah, Trump funded the HBCUs, bro.
Okay, so what I want the host to do, I want the host to do his own investigative research at this moment,
Do you want me
and
to
I'm about
fact
to make
check it? What's the
a
question you want?
fact check both of us.
Okay.
He's saying that Biden did not fund HBCUs during his term. I'm saying that not only did Biden fund HBCUs, I'm telling you that Biden funded HBCUs more than any other president in the history of the United States. Fact check that right now.
Okay. Did Biden fund HBCUs?
Now, in the interest of that fact check, I'm not sitting. Well,
Well,
I
no,
did
no,
say
no, no, no.
no, no,
Let the
no,
man
no, 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 no. Hold
let
on,
the
no.
man
I
fact
know
check. Let the
you
man
no,
fact
no,
check.
no. He can fact check Mr. Chris, but what I'm screaming is I'm screaming on the sense of y'all being so quick to call Trump racist, and Trump has done these things.
Well, you actively said Biden did not fund
That's fair.
HBCUs.
That's fair. Yeah, check on that. Check on that.
Okay,
But
so
before a fact, but you're sitting there while you trying to mention these things, but Trump went through. Trump did those things as well.
okay. Well,
He can
let's
fact.
let
He
him
can
fact check,
fact.
and then I'll respond. After his
Are
fact check,
y'all
I'll respond
ready?
to you.
Are y'all ready?
I'm ready.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay. Yes, President Biden has provided significant funding for historically black colleges and universities. His administration announced a record investment of over 16 billion in
All right,
support for HBCUs from fiscal years 2021 through
2020.
2024. This funding includes federal grants, contracting awards, debt relief, and financial aid for HBCU enrolled students. This level of funding is indeed historic and demonstrates the administration's commitment to supporting HBCUs. Comparatively, comparatively, this is more than any other president has done in terms of federal investment in HBCUs.
Okay. So if Biden done those things, cool. Now, can you fact check what Trump did as well with the
No, 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 no,
HBCU?
no. I didn't. I haven't denied anything yet. You
Okay.
deny.
Okay. You
Well,
got you.
so
Okay.
let me
Listen. I thought.
respond. So let me respond. I
Oh, go
said
ahead.
after he did his fact check, I was gonna respond. You spread misinformation just now. I asked him to fact check. He fact checked you. He showed that you were not being 100% truthful. Now, were you? When it comes to
Okay, that
Biden,
hold on, but that's about Biden. Don't be trying to Barney style that little thing. Now you said,
you just
but
lied though. You just
no,
lied.
okay, but I'm saying though, but at the same time,
Did you
that's fair.
not lie?
If that's what he did, that's fine, Chris. That's fine. Cool, kudos to you. But then
Like
again,
what?
how can
I'm on the twilight. Like no,
counter?
you
Hold on,
don't get to
counter.
spread. No, see, then that's let me respond. Let me respond.
No, hold on. I
That's the
let you
problem
respond.
with
I
Republicans.
let
You
you
don't get to
respond.
spread
Hold on.
misinformation and then brush past like,
Okay.
oh, okay, well, it's the
Listen.
truth. No, you don't. You don't get to do that. That's the problem that we face in America now. So much misinformation and deception run throughout our black community that people believe
You're doing that with Trump as
lies.
well, though, Chris.
I
You're
haven't
doing that
lied
with
on him.
Trump.
Tell me one lie I
Yeah, no,
said.
but no, you're trying to throw this title of racist on a simple fact, but Trump did stuff for black people too, though. So what are we
Okay.
talking about?
Okay, well, slave owners fed their slaves. Does that not make them slave owners?
Why do you always got to try to associate stuff?
Mm.
That's what I'm talking about. Like, bro,
What I need, no,
bro,
I want. So
were you a slave, Chris?
the way it can work is this: we're gonna have a
Hold on.
dialogue, a conversation.
Were you a
It's gonna
slave?
be a
You
back
bring
and
up
forth.
slavery.
You say your point, I say
Were you a
my point.
slave?
Yeah,
I can't
let's
do
Were
this
you a
talking over
slave?
each other.
Were you a slave?
let's reset. Let's reset. Let me hit the sound bite real quick.
Oh, on his ass now. On his ass. All that cap.
But yeah, let's reset. So okay, sounds like Chris knew what he was talking about. But you're saying John is saying that his point is not that Trump that Biden didn't do anything. Well, he's saying that still doesn't make Trump racist. He's saying Trump helped too. I
Well,
think
so
that's
do I
what
get
he's
to
trying to say.
respond right now, or is he respond? Who's
Yeah,
responding?
but yeah, you do get to respond, but you don't get to that. You don't get to bring over the fact of slavery, then try to avoid talking about it.
I
Mm.
So
don't
you know what I'm
mind
saying?
talking about it, but I want the chance to
Again, but
respond. You're still
why are
talking.
you trying to associate slavery to today? That
Well,
don't
so I'm
make
not
no
about to.
sense.
It's not gonna be a fight. I'm about to respond to
It's
the
not a
overall
fight though,
point.
but I'm asking the
Well,
question though.
so let me speak if that's the
No, okay,
case.
I'm letting you speak. Answer my question though. Why you got to associate slavery with everything?
So my point is this: you made a statement that was inaccurate. That was
No, of
extremely
course you're gonna
inaccurate.
go.
You lied
Yeah.
on the last previous administration and
Okay,
said that I
you
was
steady
not
trying
saying
to
something
hang
that
off
was
the point.
accurate. You
You trying to
then
hang off the
chose to
point with
try to
Biden. Got it.
highlight it and brush past it.
Okay.
But again, that is my overall point. that people are consumed in misinformation, and that's a active problem in America. Is a education in a misinformation problem. You don't get to just lie to people. That's the problem. You don't get to just, and that's why so many people were misinformed in this election, because so many people kept lying to people and saying stuff
Mm.
like that. That's just not true, and that's not
So
okay.
So what? So what?
Anything
But
I
you're
say
doing the
is not
same
gonna
thing
be, it's
about
gonna be
Trump.
accurate.
You're doing the same thing
okay.
about Trump, Chris.
What lie
It
have
don't
I
matter.
said? What lie?
You're trying to associate Trump being racist about the stuff about the stuff that happened in the school and stuff like that. But then he's
I
done
didn't
stuff
just
with black
name the
people too.
school. I didn't just name. I gave you a whole list of why he's racist. I didn't
Okay,
name one thing.
but you made those you made those statements in trying to insinuate that Trump is racist. But Trump has done things with black people as well.
Hey,
Like if you go
Again,
if
I
you
can
if
throw
you
scraps to a stray dog. That not mean I treat him like a
oh
stray dog.
now the example is a stray dog. It's not a slave
I
being a
can give
slave.
you a, I can, because my
so
brain works like that. I can give you many
so
examples. Which
let's
one you
move
want?
on to another point. Let's move on to another point. I think y'all both agree to disagree. Chris did come through with the fact check though, but I don't.
Yeah, yeah.
That's fair. That's fair. Let's move on. And for me, I don't think John is a liar. I think maybe he was just misinformed. Maybe he
John,
was just misinformed.
I'm not gonna fight with
That,
John, but
Jay,
I will
Jay,
say
no. I can stand on that hill, Jay. Like say, Mr. Chris was right about that. You know what I'm saying? That's
Yeah.
cool,
I
cool.
appreciate
I can,
that.
I can, I can, I can take that. But my
I
thing about
appreciate
it
that.
is, but my thing about this though, Mr. Chris, I'm just jumping on the fact of you.
Yes,
But
sir.
you're doing exactly. You're trying to word it as people being misinformed, saying this is this and that or
It was a
whatever.
lie.
But then again, at the same time, you just try to insinuate so many examples as if Trump ain't did enough for black people. Is all I'm saying.
Well, no,
That's what you. That's what you
I
made it.
gave
That's what you made it.
examples of why he was a racist.
You didn't say it verbatim, but that's what you're trying to insinuate.
I gave examples to support the theory that he's a racist. That's all.
Okay, so but okay, so but
So
fair, but can
I had the hypothesis that he was a racist, and I provided scientific research to
Hypothesis is
support
crazy.
my hypothesis. And
Okay.
now I'm
okay,
coming to the
so
scientific
I,
Mr. Chris,
conclusion that he's
can I
a
ask you one
racist.
question though? Can I ask you one question though? Can you stand on the hill? I guess not try to sound misinformed, but can you stand on the hill and say Trump never did nothing for black people?
I think it would be me spreading misinformation if I said that he never did anything from black people.
Absolutely, but that's it though.
So I'm not gonna make a blanket statement like that,
Oh,
because that would
that's
be
fair.
spreading misinformation.
So since you're a research type of guy, you've known Trump did some things for black people, right? You done researched and seen some of that for yourself, right?
Listen, my research is my research. Yours is yours.
Oh,
So I'm,
what? Okay. I want y'all to make points though. Let's talk about.
I'm trying to have a conversation. Like, I'm not, like, I don't know
Let's.
what he's asking. Like, what?
no disrespect to you, Mr. Chris, man, but no,
Yeah.
you're doing elementary type stuff. Bro.
I'm not doing anything. I'm
You
letting
can't even take
But
you
accountability on the truth.
make your points. I'm not about to make your points for you. You make
Okay,
your points.
it ain't the simple fact of making a point. I'm just asking you a simple question, yes or no.
so
But you
let's.
want to say,
I answered the.
So let's move on. Let's move on from this because I think both of y'all gonna agree to disagree. Um, what about? Do you know about the? How do? What are your? Do you have it? Not concerns. My bad. I'm messing up. Mass deportation, Jan. How do you feel about that?
so as I said earlier, bro. In a sense, we do it on a daily basis, bro.
Yeah.
And like I say, for me, I know in a sense, bro, it's been plenty of times where I wanted something done, and sometimes the black person was my first thought of thinking the best qualified because he black, bro. I'm in I'm in the military. I use the military as an example for me.
Mhm.
The process to get into the military is pretty much take the ASVAB, you pretty get a good score,
So
choose your job.
you still talking about DEI? Or I was asking
Yeah,
about. I was talking about
no
mass
DEI.
deportation, but we can.
Okay. I thought you were talking about okay, but the
But
mass deportation.
we can talk about the DEI because I do think y'all got
Well,
kind of
no,
sidetracked. Because
well,
is y'all
Oh my bad.
it's up
I
to
remember.
him.
I remember when you said it. I remember when you brought up DEI. That's what I was thinking you was coming up with
yeah.
next. But
But now, how do you feel about mass deportation?
mass
Trump's
deportation, honestly, bro, if they came into the country illegally, they need to go.
and do you feel that there be any repercussions for mass deportation? A lot of people are saying it's gonna hurt the economy. It's gonna hurt the farmers. things like that, or do you feel like this will help America by getting illegal immigrants out of here?
Well, from the point of standpoint of the mass deportation, I do feel like why would America why would America allow some and I don't want to say aliens, but immigrants to come into this world and then be able to take away from potential jobs for people already in America? Don't we have enough problems in America alone, like homelessness, homeless people, stuff like that? You
Mm-hmm.
know what I'm saying? We got a lot of people in the system, this, that, and the third. Like we can like help people in those manners. Like let's take care of America first, and then we can open up the gates for everybody to come in. What is wrong with prioritizing America first
Mm.
to
Uh,
American born citizens?
do do you want to respond to that, Chris?
Of course I do. So there's obviously an immigration issue in America. No one is denying that from either side, obviously, as both sides continuously run on that issue. The
Hmm.
point is, this country was founded on immigrants. Immigrants have been the inception, the foundation, and the continuation of this country is the immigration. And so, for people to feel so high and mighty now, and to say, "Well, immigrants don't belong here," you don't belong here. This isn't the ground that your people bought and controlled. This is the ground that actual white people stole. And so, to now think that we're so above it all, and to look down on immigrants as if there's something to dismiss or kick out is crazy. Now, I'm not saying people should be here illegally because, in my opinion, we should know every individual person that's here. Anyone in this country, we should be able to tell you what's their name, where they're from, their data. We should be able to tell you everything, as a safety protocol. However, let's be clear: the immigrants here mainly working are not a huge crime percentage. They're not a huge nuisance to the country, and actually, they aid our $1 trillion adding to our economy. The $1 trillion is added from the $1 trillion that's added from the agricultural industry is mainly dominated by immigrants. And so this is the problem America will run into. You're going to take away immigrants that are actively picking our crops at lower cost, and you're going to kick them out. What's that going to do? It's going to cause a shortage in jobs and a shortage in farming. Now, a Republican might say, well, just replace them with American workers. That's the problem. There's not enough American workers to work those jobs. Let's just say they were. Let's say there were enough American workers. What's going to happen when you put an American worker in the place of an immigrant? You're going to have to pay that American worker more, which is going to which is going to do what to the cost? It's going to make costs increase because they're going to have to pay people more, which is going to make the crops that they're picking directly cost more. It's going to have a lot of negative effects on the economy. But listen, Republicans can do it. If they want to do the mass deportation, I'm not going to fight them. Do what you do. Get them out of here. If that's what you want to do. But when we're paying more than we're already paying, I don't want to hear it. That's directly on the Republicans.
And we have somebody calling for a fact check before you respond, Jen. I'm trying to see what fact check are they calling for.
Okay.
They
Hmm.
want to fact check something Chris said.
Okay, check it.
What exactly do you want me to fact check, Mr. Barrett?
Let's fact check it.
I'm waiting for him to put it in the chat. Uh, I guess whenever he put it in the chat, we'll do it. But I don't want to stop the conversation too long. Did you want to respond to that, John?
No, I do want to respond to it in a sense, and I can agree with some aspect of what Chris said about how it could affect the economy. But I just honestly think, man, from my particular mindset, keep it in America, bro. We already went through it. Inflation that rose up in these last 4 years. Okay, our prices will go up a little bit more on that. All right, cool. But I just feel like keep
Oh
everything in America.
no. Can I respond to that?
Are you done talking, John? Or do you
Yeah, no, yeah.
you ready? Okay, yeah,
Well,
go
so I
ahead.
wanted to say thank you for your service, Mr. John. I also heard you say you served in the military, so thank you for your service. What I will say though, I don't like that. I don't like how you just said, "Well, the prices go up." It is what I don't like that because I keep seeing Republicans say that, but that was the number one issue during the election cycle was prices are too high. The economy, the economy and
Mm.
immigration were the number one and two issues. So you don't get to win and then say, well, oh well, if prices go up, oh no, that's not how that works. You are supposed to not only stabilize but lower prices. So this idea that, because I've seen Republicans start saying, well, prices might go up, but there is no but. You dropped them like you said you were going to do on day one. Donald Trump made a lot of promises during the campaign, especially for day one, and I haven't seen any of them enacted as far regarding the actual economy. Like that's crazy. You don't like they ran on this idea that prices were too high. Every day I heard about the price of eggs. Now eggs are higher than they were last month under Donald Trump. And now we have Republicans saying, well, if it go up, it go up. No, no, that's not how it works. Like you don't get to run on this issue for months, years, and then say, oh well, oh well. And also one more thing, inflation did lower under Biden. It did rise, unfortunately, in 2021, 2022. But when he left office, it was 2.9%.
Mm.
But go ahead.
So we have the fact check question.
Okay.
So we'll put up. Did you need to get something out before I do the fact check, John? I don't want to stop your thoughts.
No, no, I was just gonna say, Chris. Well, thank you for your support and whatnot, but at the same time, I can see what you're saying in a sense as far as like, but I do feel like before you reach a balance, you're gonna have to go through a little turbulence. Now, I'm not sitting there saying I want prices to go up and it's gonna be if prices go up, cool, yay. But I do feel like, in the sense, is if you take that approach as far as like keeping it in America, you may hit that first bit of turbulence is where the prices may go up, but I think it eventually will balance itself, in my humble opinion.
I respect what you're saying. I'm gonna say this real briefly. I respect what you're saying, but you don't get to run and say, as the president, I'm going to do everything I can to make sure prices are lower immediately on day one, and then day six, day five, you're saying, well, prices may go up, but oh well. That's not how that works.
That's how
Right.
politics work, though. I ain't gonna lie. But
No,
But
that's
this is the same man.
that's
This is the
politics
same
every
man that
day.
said he's. This is the same man that said he's not a politician. So I'm confused. But go ahead with the fact check.
okay, good point. Okay. Mr. Barrett wanted me to fact check when you said that mass deportation will cause prices to go up in America.
It
So
will.
let's look at the facts.
What?
Mass deportation could have significant economic impacts, including on prices. Removing a large number of undocumented immigrants from the workforce could lead to labor shortages in various industries such as agriculture, construction, and service sectors. This could result in higher labor costs, which might be passed on to consumers in the form of higher prices for goods and services. Additionally, the overall economic activity could decrease due to the reduced labor force and lower consumer spending, which could also contribute to price fluctuations. The exact impact would depend on various factors, including the scale of deportations and the ability of the economy to adapt to the changes. It's a complex issue with many variables, but the general consensus among economists, is the mass deportation is that mass deportation could lead to economic disruptions and potentially higher prices. So, so
So what's your verdict on that?
sounds like you were right. It sounds like they repeated a lot what you said. I don't know if you like Googling the answers. I don't know what you got. What you got going on over there. But yeah,
You
they
gotta
pretty much
stop.
said what you said. But for John, I get what you're saying too, John. I heard that part of keeping it in America, and yes, the prices will go up, but eventually they'll come back down due to everything stabilizing. But
Yep.
To Chris's point, that is, I do get what he's saying. I never thought about it like that, but now he making me think of it like we were on Kamala's tail or on her ass because we was like the Democrats, y'all not worrying about groceries and this and that, and the
Right.
prices going up, and then it just go up soon as Trump. That is kind of crazy. I can't even lie.
And then they tell you, oh, it don't matter if prices go up. It's going like what? What you mean it don't matter? Like you just spent months on months telling me the prices matter. Now they don't matter no more. That's crazy.
We got a question for you in the chat, John.
Yes.
We have Mr. Simp Wash. He wants to know how would it balance itself out? Could you explain a little more on that? How would, like, with the mass deportation and keeping it America, how would prices balance themselves out, to your understanding?
To my understanding, so in the sense when Chris kind of made that point in the sense of like when if you keep it in America and then like prices are gonna have to go up to pay that American for the one that immigrant was doing. I do feel like salaries go up and that's gonna make the cost of stuff go up in the most part. But I strongly believe that's how most things work in the system. I'm not familiar as far as like business terms in a sense, but
Yeah, yeah.
I do know in the sense that sometimes though, like you even seen it with most times with gas going up and then coming back down, gas going up, coming back down. It's gonna have some seasons where it's gonna be like that, but then again, it's gonna get back to where it's consistent. I believe
Yeah.
because I think like gas would. Well, I'm in Washington State. Gas right now is like 350 now. But I do remember for like the last year and some change, it was jumping from 5 to 4, 4, this, that, and the third. So it's like it eventually is gonna go up and down and balance out there. I do believe that. But I stand on the sense of as far as DEI goes, I stand in the sense of the avenue of some illegal immigrants coming through and like drug trade and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm screaming on. As far as like that's where I'm hanging my hat as far as like majority of immigrants coming and just like that. That's what I'm standing on for the most part.
Let me respond to that really quickly.
Yeah.
So yes, things fluctuate. That's the way prices work. However, to the question that they asked you, which one is easier? Is it easier to raise prices or easier to lower them? Um, it's easier to raise them. And so when he implements this mass deportation, if he does it the way he says he's going to do it, it's not going to be as easy as you make it seem. Like, oh, it's just going to come back down. That's not how that works. It's going once it does finally stabilize, which would be like at least a year thing. It takes work to lower them. Joe Biden had to fight inflation. He literally has had an Inflation Reduction Act to combat it and had to do everything he could to bring it down. Once it's up there, it doesn't just come down with ease. Like you have to actively put into the economy to bring it down. And even with you putting into it, it still fluctuates on its own balance. Like you really can't too much fix it once it's up there. Like you really have to just give it the time it needs. And unfortunately, Donald Trump ran a campaign where he said prices would lower on day one. So I don't want to be a year from now where prices are double and we're talking about give Trump time. I don't think so. And as far as drugs that immigrants are bringing, statistically, an American citizen is more likely to bring drugs across the border than a immigrant is, and that's a fact.
Man,
That's possibly true. That's possibly true, but I know along the line of the southern border, and I don't want to give out too information due to
yeah,
like kind of like military style. But
yeah,
being on the southern border of El Paso, we kind of deal with a lot of that, and it's
yeah.
But I can't say too much, but it's coming from a lot of that thing.
Okay. Chris,
Yes, sir.
you are on the phone with a Trump supporter.
I am.
What looking like I know I'm sure like Democrats and I'm sure Trump supporters too, vice versa. Y'all probably struggle with understanding the mind of why a black man would be a Trump supporter. Is there any questions that you would like to ask him while while we having this civil conversation?
Well, so I would like to speak briefly about the civilness of this conversation. I do appreciate it because I think a lot of time in politics we do allow our emotions to control us, and it gets very disrespectful very quickly because of a difference of opinion. So
Right.
I am glad that me and him have been able to have a fairly decent conversation civilly without being disrespectful or using profanity or calling each other out our names. So I respect that. Um, you know. I just don't agree with anything he thinks, and that's okay too. Like I said, we all have our respectable opinions, and we all deserve to feel how we feel. That's our American right. At the same time, it's just unfortunate that a black man would support conservatives, Republicans, when I believe that they would be the antithesis of what black people actually are thriving for to achieve. If I had a question, I would say, does he really think that Donald Trump would be the best for the black community for the next 4 years? Just not even just what he's saying in the last week, but does he actually think that?
Do you want to respond to that, John?
Yeah, of course. Of course. So to the first part he said, man, trust me, Mr. Chris, man, like it don't necessarily just be about this particular politics and stuff like that. I enjoy the series of debate. I enjoy just conversation in general. So
Yeah.
I would never take nothing personal. It ain't like it ain't like me personally. I know you personally. So it would have been ignorant on either one of our sides to try to throw personal jabs and anything like that. But I love debating. I love communicating. Now to the second part, I do strongly believe it would be better for us in the next 4 years. And I don't want to necessarily say that it will be because of Trump. But what I will say is just like for me, I feel like we have the power, man. We just gotta rub elbows with the right people, and we gotta network with the right people, pretty much. And it's just more or less. I'm just a type of person who think you can create your own legacy and your own look. As far as where I'm in life right now, and the military could help this, that, and the third. I'm a well-off individual from where I came. And it's been plenty of times I've been able to go through doors. I haven't felt no systemic racism in my lifetime. Now I'm not going to sit here and say that it doesn't happen, or you know what I'm saying. It's like I turn a blind eye to it like it doesn't happen.
Hmm.
But more or less of the simple fact, I feel like in the simple fact, I know if I was able to make the right decisions to be where I'm at, it's a good chance more black people can do that.
Hmm.
Can I
Now,
ask
and
one more question, please? One more question, please, and that'll be my last question I have.
yes, go ahead.
So Donald Trump has a long rap sheet, as we all know. He actively started insurrection on January 6th, where he had people storm the Capitol, fight police officers, and actually people actually died from those events. He had 91 felonies. He is a key contributor of Project 2025, as we've seen 2/3 already be implemented. He had 4 indictments. He's a convicted felon, twice impeached. He had ties to Epstein and pedophilia. He was found liable of rape, and he was accused by 25 plus women. He has fraud in not only business, education, but elections. And he has, in the past, threatened dictatorship and the removal of certain parts of the Constitution. With that rap sheet, what is the line for you, right? Because when I just named that off, I couldn't support a candidate with half of that. But none of that bothers you. So I'm asking you, what is the line for you as a Republican, a black man? What's too much? What's too far? Because it seems like he can do what he actually said. He could shoot someone and he could get away with it. So what is too far for you?
So that's a good question. And truthfully, I answer it like this, Mr. Chris.
Is there a
With
line?
all those things that you said about Trump in that rap sheet, it's no different than one of your homeboys. It's no different than one of your homeboys, in my opinion.
My
So my
homeboy's
thing
not
about
running for the presidency.
I understand that, but at the end of the day, a presidency is just a seat. You know what I'm saying? And it's just in fact, his job of what he can do for America ain't got nothing to do with what he do in his personal life. To
Well,
me.
it kind of does. I think the character of a man speaks to what he's able to do for you as a president. And let's be clear, these
Mm-hmm.
standards, this rap sheet, I couldn't get a job at Burger King with it. So why is he able to have the highest seat in the American democracy, and he has a rap sheet longer than anyone I know in my personal life? And
Okay, so
my homeboy would be more able to have that seat, or should be able to have that seat before he can. So again, I get what you're saying. Like it don't basically it doesn't matter to you, but I need to know what's the line for you. Is there a line?
well, that's the thing. It's an objective line for me. So with those
So there
particular
isn't
points
one.
with those particular point that you made in a sense, right? And please, I don't want nobody being exposed now, but I'm pretty sure you got a couple of best friends or something that's been married that probably cheated on their wives or stepped out on they and cheated at one point in their lifetime.
Are we comparing cheating to being a felon?
I'm co-
Or
I'm comparing.
are we
I'm
comparing cheating to
you
being
said the
found liable? Are we
word.
comparing cheating of being found
You
liable
said
for rape?
well. You said the word character, Mr. Chris. I'm underlining the word character. Okay, you said it, not me. Character.
Mhm.
So I'm speaking in the sense as far as I'm like, hey, You know a couple of guys who stepped out probably on their marriage, right? Wouldn't you think cheating in the covenant is lack of character?
They're not running for president for one. At
Uh,
the same
uh,
time, it may the cheating or adultery may affect a man's character, but in no way can that be compared to a man with 91 felonies.
okay,
No.
so my thing about it is this. So let's just say it's a let's say it's a black man who's a billionaire. He's a black man, he's a billionaire, you know what I'm saying? And more than likely, you know what I'm saying? Well, he got baby mamas, broken homes, this, that, and the third. He done did a lot of things that shows lack of character, but yet at the same time, when he did his job, he became a billionaire. That's the way I look at it. What you gonna do while you're president? I don't care about everybody got skeletons in their closet.
Skeletons.
Some darker than others. And as far as like what you saying, Trump resume or his resume is, I'm speaking on some fact. I'm only focused on what you're doing for the job.
Okay.
I can care what you do 9 to 5 or overnight. If you're doing what you can do to take care of this country, bro. Hey, we all human.
Well, his skeletons are pitch dark black. So let's be clear. These aren't just your everyday skeletons. Oh, you had an affair. Oh, you had a baby. No, 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 no. These actively implicate his job. January 6th happened while he was in office as president. He was found to be fraudulent in the election cycle. He threatened dictatorship while being a president. So you're saying what he is able to do while he's president, but he's done a few of these things while he was in office. So I'm really getting confused about what you're saying as far as like the job and your personal life. Listen, we obviously have two different standards as it relates to our candidates. I supported one that had worked in every branch of government. I supported one who was accomplished in many aspects of her life. I supported one that had not had marital affairs. I supported one that wasn't a felon. I supported one that wasn't found liable of rape. I supported one who actually had a college degree that she could use. So we just have two different set of standards, and that's just what it is.
So let me ask you one question, Mr. Chris. So let's just say hypothetically, right? Let's just say within these next 4 years, Donald Trump put the United States in a good place. Will you overlook that good that is done based off the resume that you know about?
So I can multitask, and the two are not mutually exclusive. Just because he does good does not mean his past is immediately removed. If he does well in the next 4 years, which I highly doubt, I will definitely celebrate those actions and be supportive of the next administration as well as what his administration has accomplished.
Hmm.
However, you look at a man by his works, and that's biblical. You look at a man by his works and the works that he does while he's on this land and on this earth. The works he has done thus far is very nasty work. And I think that this man has no business being in the White House. He has no business being in a Waffle House. But I honestly think that this man needs to be abolished. I think that we need to hold him to the standards of the office, and we need to stop lowering the standard of the presidency. The bar's always lowered for Republicans and higher for Kamala and Democrats. The way I saw America treat Kamala and the way she had to walk on this fine line during this campaign was crazy. And it was like every little thing she did was like with a fine tooth comb, just picking through her. But they couldn't find it. It was so bad that they had to question her blackness because they had nothing else. But this man gets to be a felon, and people are like, oh well, hey, it's okay, it's cool. Like what?
I
But
got a
that's
I,
my opinion.
I got a question in the chat, but I got a question for y'all. What is the question in the chat? Mr. Barrett wants to know, Chris.
Oh God.
He wants to know, was your life better under Trump administration or Biden administration?
My life was better under the Biden administration because I didn't have a man that was trying to overthrow the government. My life was better under the Biden administration because I wasn't losing loved ones due to the mishandling of COVID. People called COVID a hoax, which was so unfortunate. But I actually had a close family member. She was like a sister to my mom. She wasn't biologically, but was like a sister, and she
Okay.
actually died due to COVID. And that was very hard because I was actually going through a lot at that time during my life during Trump's presidency. And so added that to the fact it was very intense for me. So I would definitely pick Biden's life for me under versus Trump's.
There you have it. Okay. I got a last question for y'all, and y'all can give y'all last rebuttals too if y'all care to. Um, to both of y'all,
Yes, sir.
America chose Trump.
They did.
Why do you think they chose him? Because it was a landslide victory, right?
Well, landslide is subjective, but he definitely won.
He
By
won
this,
convincingly.
he
Convincingly.
did win convincingly. So yeah, you're right about that. But landslide, I don't know about that. But yeah, John can
uh
go first if he
yeah,
like.
John can go first. We been yeah. Why do you think America chose Trump?
Well, I can think of many reasons. It done got to the point again, in my humble opinion. It done got to the point that I feel like America woke up, man.
Mm,
All the pandering the Democrats and stuff was doing.
Mhm.
Come on. I stand on that hill as far as in like for me, in my personal opinion, I was on the Kamala Harris train at first.
oh snap! Okay.
So you know what I'm saying, in a sense, I was on it at first until and it was just me. And then like and I put it on my Facebook status that night.
The
But
twerking.
by time the twerking and the celebrities and stuff trying to that was the best you can do. Now I know she done did multiple things, talking this, that, and the third, whatever. But then again, at the same time, when you brung up those type of celebrities to do that type of stuff, I was like, nah. At that point, it was kind of like a joke, man. To the simple fact of the stuff she was putting out didn't do press that much, answered a lot of questions, this, that, and the third, and I just felt like America just woke up, in my humble opinion. All the pandering stuff going on, and this, that, the third. And like I say, I'm not accusing Chris of saying this. He didn't bring it up tonight, but I do think I don't want to get you canceled, Jay, but I do like the simple fact that Trump signed them executive orders to get back to two genders. Under the Democrats, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? We didn't have like 10,000 other genders going on. But like I said, that's a touchy subject. I don't want to get you canceled. You know what I'm saying?
We'll, we'll have to have a part two debate about that specific subject.
Mm.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, like I said, you know, that's kind of that, you know. But my thing is just for other things going like that. But what I'm saying is just like it's just more or less of like morally for me,
Yeah.
regardless of the resume, Mr. Chris, because I know you're gonna bring up the resume.
Oh
Mm.
yeah.
Morally for me, on some more religious beliefs, getting back to that type of America, I'm cool with that.
That type of America, and I think that's the reason black people have been subjugated to be so much further in the past and beyond where we should be is because of that mindset, unfortunately. And you just said what was too much for you with Kamala was a black woman twerking, but it wasn't too much for you that the white man was a felon. It wasn't too much for you that the white man was an adjudicated rapist. It wasn't too much for you that the white man had fraud in business, elections, and education. It wasn't too much for you that the white man had multiple baby mamas. It wasn't too much that the white man paid a porn star. None of that was too much for you. But you drew the line at the black woman that a black
Yes, that
lady
do sound crazy.
was
Damn.
twerking
Damn.
at an election campaign. And so for me, that's my entire point. And that's to answer your question, that right there is why Democrats lost. Because the standards that American citizens hold the two parties to, one is on earth and one is in Jupiter.
See, I
And
think
it's not fair. It's not fair to Democrats, and it's not fair to the American citizens voting because you're literally voting against your own self-interest. You yourself are holding them right now to two different, completely different standards. And to me, not only does it sound hypocritical, but it just sounds disingenuous. And it was sad. Now, to answer the question more specifically, why did Democrats lose? Democrats lost for several reasons. One of the main reasons for me is misinformation.
Hold
Misinformation
on,
ran the
Chris. Hold
election
on, Chris.
cycle.
Is that your background or John background?
no, that was mine. That was mine. I was
Okay.
just making sure my nephew was getting to his mom.
Okay.
Misinformation ran the election cycle. Let's be clear. There was so much misinformation about Kamala and Democrats And they were then, to his point about two sexes, there was so many lies that, they were saying that your little boy could go to school and come home a little girl, just saying dumb shit. And so, to be clear,
That's
that's why Democrats lost, because Republicans could say anything, right? And
mhm.
people would believe it. But then Democrats could tell you that Project 2025 is Trump's plan, and people would say what Trump said, that we were pandering and fear mongering. So if we were fear mongering and lying to the American people, why has Trump already enacted 2/3 of Project 2025? To me, there's not a balance of accountability from the American people for both sides. And I don't want to put whole blame on the American people and not the Democratic Party, but the American people chose. And now the thing is, the American people fucked up. And now they're about to be in the finding out part of it,
Mhm.
because this man is about to show us some things. I didn't get to touch on the entire pausing of cancer research debacle, but that's
Yeah.
crazy to me. I don't know who voted to stop cancer research, but that's something Donald Trump has already done. Um, it's actually insane to me. And the thing is, you can have your religious beliefs, but when you have them across the board. Because I'm pretty sure Jesus would not have supported Donald Trump versus Kamala.
Damn.
I'm like 99% sure.
Okay, so
That's a
but
big
I
statement.
do have a question for you though.
Okay.
I do have a question. Hold on. Hopefully I ain't mute myself. You can hear me?
I
Yeah.
can.
Okay, so I have a question, Mr. Chris. So now, if I'm not mistaken, we're talking about Donald Trump resume was a topic of conversation, right?
It is. Yes, sir.
So, so for you, Mr. Chris, if we're talking about resume, Kamala Harris and Joe Biden definitely was a part of the crime bill back in 1990s that locked up a lot of black men.
Kamala Harris was
You can
not
fact
in
you
Congress in that time.
you can fact check that, bro.
Kamala Harris was not in Congress at that time.
Oh, Joe Biden was.
Well, you said both of them, so I'm.
Well, no, but no, she had some stuff going on in California though. You can fact check that too.
Well,
You know what I'm saying? But what I'm
be clear in the statements. If you're gonna make an
I got that. But we're talking about resume. So my thing about it is
right,
how so Biden was a part of that bill as well that locked up a lot of black people. So
right.
I heard about that.
I ask that same question to you. How can you be a believer in Biden when he affected with that bill affecting us in the past?
So that bill was supported bipartisanly by both sides of Congress. That bill was at a time where crime was extremely high, and that bill was a misstep in justice, as they should have definitely redacted a lot of things and not have done it in the format they did it, because it did disproportionately affect black people. To their point, crime was rampant at that time, and they felt like something had to be done. But they should have attacked the actual system and not the people, because it was the systematic racism that was causing black people to be in so much turmoil to commit the crimes they were committing, and not just black people wanting to be bad. I can support Biden because Biden has reformed his legislation. He has apologized and actually spoke about the crime bill, that you can search that, and he has also done criminal justice reform. So it's Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris actually had policies in California to help black people in prison systems, and actually crowdfunded for people that were arrested during the riots, for black rights and black justice. So these people are not perfect. I never said that they were, but these people have also worked diligently for public jail reform, justice reform, and for black people in the justice system.
Get your ass down. And that was well articulated, Mr. Chris. That was well articulated, Mr. Chris. But then again, just how in the sense of how you well stated that nobody's perfect. That's how I think about Donald Trump in his past as
Well,
well.
it's one thing to be not perfect. It's another thing to have a rap sheet longer than anyone that you know on your day-to-day basis. I
But
mean,
Mr.
that's
But
just
Mr.
very
Chris,
different. That's
yo,
just
you're
very
right. I
different.
understood. It's
Very
apples and oranges.
different.
I do get
Very
that.
different. Like I
It's
named I
I
named
no,
30
I get that.
things. You named one thing. Like,
I
come on
know,
now.
but I'm saying though, but my thing about it is what is where I bring to your knowledge of me. It can be a 30 million things. It could be one thing, bro. It's like I don't stray. Like morally, I don't stray. I'm just gonna focus on what you're gonna do for America, bro.
But you brought up a crime bill from the 1900s. I can bring you up something Donald Trump did this week. Like it's just a lot different, you know. And so
No, I get I get what you're saying, but I'm just solely focused on his job, bro. I can't sit morally. I agree with you on a lot of things, bro. I agree with you on a lot of things, but I do feel like it's a lot of crooked people sitting in major seats. I understand the presidency is
that's the
like,
highest seat.
yeah, I understand, but at the same time, Mr. Chris, you're a very intelligent man, bro.
I
You
appreciate that.
is it safe to assume you're 30 plus years old?
I am not 30.
Oh,
Hey,
okay,
what
my
is
bad.
it? I'm
Well, at
not
least
30. What's wrong with
okay,
people
25.
being 30, fam?
Yeah,
Damn.
Nothing wrong
you
with
heard
nothing's
you heard how
wrong
he
with
said
no
that,
no
Jay?
no nothing.
You heard how he said.
Damn.
Okay,
Nothing
well, I would assume you 25 plus.
correct. Down 25
Okay,
plus.
that's what I'm saying, Mr. Chris, and as intelligent as you is, and very knowledgeable as you is, Mr. Chris, you done seen some crooked people in some high places, even at our level of living, bro. So you know what I'm saying, and like I say, it's just like we have no heaven or hell to send nobody.
Amen.
It's just like why I agree with you on the moral trade, bro. If this what all you said on his resume, if he made America a little better, and we all can hope hypothetically, if he make America better in like 4 years, man, the resume don't matter to me.
Mm.
Okay.
He say the
But there
most.
you
He
have
say
it.
the most qualified. All right, so you know, man, look, y'all did good, man. Y'all did good. I feel like people really got educated, and when I chop this up, people will be definitely educated because we got to see two opposing sides clash. And a lot of questions got answered for me personally. I was like, dang, okay, I didn't, because you will hear one thing with the other side, and then you don't hear
No,
the
that's my
rebuttal
bad, man, my
for it.
bad. Now I will say this: if Mr. Chris ran, I'll vote for him.
Yeah, I
I
don't know if
appreciate
I
that,
think he
brother.
got Chat GPT pulled up or something. I don't know
You
what
gotta
he
Hey,
got
stop.
going on.
hey,
You gotta.
I'll vote for Chris. If Chris ran, I'll vote for Chris.
Chris,
I appreciate that, my brother. I appreciate that.
I'm
Again,
so
thank you.
man, I'm impressed, man. I'm so impressed. Like I'm gonna read a little more, man. Hopefully we can get y'all back on one of the upcoming ones. Like I said, I'm doing this podcast once a month on the last Saturday of every month to do a collective talk about what's going on because I gotta know what did America sign up for. We gotta review it. We gotta keep the people informed.
Yeah, man, this gonna be a nice 4 years, man.
Let's pray
Granted,
so.
but like I said earlier, when I said on the first call, not with the conversation that we had, it's just like, fortunately for me, I was just, military opens the doors for me. That's gonna set me up. But you know what I'm
Mm,
saying? A lot of people may be affected, but a veteran, I think I'm pretty good. Like,
mm. There you go.
but that's just my selfish reasons.
Hey, do you anything you want to say before we let y'all go? Do y'all want to say before we let y'all go? Do y'all want to say anything else to the chat before we end it?
I appreciate the opportunity to speak. It's been a very nice time speaking with you, both of you, and I just pray that education is able to prevail during the
Mm-hmm.
next election. I hope that misinformation is able to be battled more. There's a lot of things that I did not get to speak about because I did want to touch on Elon Musk. I did wanted
Damn,
to
yeah.
speak about how the world's richest man were at his inauguration in the first seat and not his cabinet. And I did want to really speak about how an oligarch, a public one, is shaping in America, but I did
Mm-hmm.
not get to touch on those topics. And I just want to say to my black community, we really have to tighten down and just prepare for whatever comes our way. Now, the thing about it, black people are strong. Throughout history, we have persevered and shown that we are able to get through anything that comes our way. But I just want us to be mindful educated, and just resentful, or resilient, I would say,
Yeah,
the next 4 years, and just stay encouraged, stay prayed up, and just stay safe.
man. Are you coming back, Democrat Chris? Will we?
Democrat Chris will have a permanent seat.
Let's go. Let's clap it up.
Whenever politics are involved, it's on the ballot.
Let's go. A star is born. A star is
Let's,
born. Yeah,
and I'll
man.
wrap it there.
Let's go, man. Free thinker John. You held your ground. You stood 10 toes down. You were able to admit on the first fact check that you may have had some things. You may have been a little uninformed about certain things. Me too, though. Me too. I didn't know that either. But you took it on the chin, and I commend you for that. I commend you for
Well, first, well, hold on. Well, I took it on 10. Say pause on that.
that. Oh man, look, hey man, look. We pause if that'll make you feel better. But you did good though, and I'm glad that you were able to have this conversation. It almost went left, but we was
No,
able to
no,
get
no,
back in
no.
the room.
I don't think it wouldn't have got left. But my thing about it is just like, granted, I can take accountability on the Biden thing. I am, but I know things about Trump. That's what I was just standing on.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
But
And
my thing about it is I do have to piggyback off what he said though.
okay,
It's just more or less I feel like regardless of who's in office for years to come, the next 4 years, this is that and the third. Again, what I said earlier, you gotta take care of your village and your dynamic, bro. I mean, granted, it may not be our calling to change the world, but it's definitely your calling to prepare your village for it, though.
yeah,
And so my whole thing is just like, who know, we may be coming to the darkest days. Project 2025 may be a mess, whatever. Take care of your dynamic, take care of your legacy, take care of your village, bro. Because if all else fails, you are in control of that.
let's go.
So what morals we want from our leaders and this, that, and the third, we need to pour that into the family. Like from what Mr. Chris saying, I'm pretty sure from naming the rap sheet of Trump, I'm pretty sure he's a morally correct guy. And I'm pretty and I know if you have a family, if you have kids, I know you install those values into your village, your family, this, that, and the third. Same with you, Jay. You gotta install that energy into your people, man. Now everybody may not agree on politics and this, that, and the third, but everybody do believe in the golden rule and this, that, and the third. And I do believe it may not change the world, but if we abide by the golden rule, man, you can affect the world you live
Mm. Hey man, look, we got Democrat Chris and the free thinker John Taylor. Look, man, we got to stay in contact with both of y'all because right now, okay, Democrat Chris had a chat GPT mind going. He was just boom boom.
Okay.
He was lining up. That shit's still crazy to me. But that was good. And Jen, I wanna keep you close as more things come out under this administration. You
in.
know,
Absolutely, but my field is baby mamas and child support. No.
man, I meant to play that clip. Damn, I forgot. I gotta
That
What
was
clip?
the if you on child support, you can't claim the baby.
misinformation.
Yeah, it definitely
Oh
was
no, no, that's
misinformation.
that's not that's not that's not an actual law yet. But boy, hey, I ain't gonna lie, that was some good material to send my baby mama.
Misinformation.
Hey,
Misinformation.
I sent those to my baby mamas. Boy, that was I felt victorious. I
Nah,
felt
you pay
victorious for
pay
about
up, pay,
2
pay
hours.
up, pay them people.
Pay them
Hey
people,
man,
man.
I
Crazy.
was so victorious when that stuff came out. I said, "Oh," and then
Man.
like
But I went straight
I
to
just
Google. I ain't gonna lie. I went
Nah, they
straight
coming
to
for
yeah,
that. They
Google.
still coming for that check, John. That check is coming. Yeah,
I
nah.
went to
oh
Twitter.
yeah,
I went and checked
I
his
already know.
Twitter
Yeah,
and
I already
everything,
know
man.
that junk.
I ain't gonna lie.
That junk was true. I was like,
Yeah, that
man,
was too
but
good to be
it
true.
felt good though. It felt good.
Yeah, yeah. But
I
look,
already I
man.
already filed my check.
I gotta find my. But look, I appreciate y'all, man. I really, really do, man. Y'all had a great conversation, man. Clap it up for y'all, man. A great, just great conversation. We're gonna have a lot more, man. I got big plans for this. We're gonna have more people coming in. I want to get more Trump supporters and more Democrats because today Chris brought the heat. He brought the heat. I ain't gonna lie. I'm gonna call it like I saw it. But what about next time?
Well,
We
listen,
might have.
don't bring too many Trump supporters. I can't do too many of them. But yeah, I'll be here.
But nah, we definitely are hit more on the subjects. I think both of y'all probably didn't get to touch on everything y'all wanted to. Shit, I didn't
Right.
even get to. But man, it was good to have y'all, man, and I can't wait till next time. Can't wait till next time.
Yeah, man. Y'all boys be safe. God bless, man.
Y'all too. Be safe.
All right, and there we have it, man. There we have it. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. Uh, Man, this went longer than it went about as long as I thought it would go. But more to come. This is the first official episode. I'm still getting the kinks out a little bit, but we got the fact checker going. Hope y'all enjoyed the fact check. Hope y'all enjoyed the um the Martin Luther King letter. Let me drop that video in the chat one more time. The Martin Luther King poison pen letter. Y'all enjoyed that. And I just hope y'all enjoyed the overall show, man. The main point of this is to educate, entertain, and just have a good conversation. A good conversation, man. Anybody is welcome. Um, I'm gonna try to do it more to where I can incorporate people calling in too. But like I said in the chat, we'll ask them why they up here on the pod. We'll ask, we'll fact check, we'll do all those things. But I really hope y'all enjoyed. This was Put the Kids to Bed and Let's Talk Politics. 8:30 p.m. CST every last Saturday. So we got February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December to go. It's gonna be a fun ride though. Hopefully y'all stay around for the ride and we'll see how much information we break down and stuff. But I enjoyed y'all. We will be back next Thursday with Forgiveness Part 3. Forgiveness Part 3. Y'all come check that out if y'all can. And Put the Kids to Bed and Let's Talk Politics. We'll be back in February. Thank y'all for watching. I'll see y'all soon.